The theme for the June 24 general elections is 2023 SAFUL election, as described by the Electoral Commission. 26 days to Sierra Leone's polling day, the Chief Electoral Commissioner, Mohamed Kenewi Kone, updating the Election Steering Committee, said they have disaggregated the voter register, reflecting the requirements by political parties and some CSOs, which is now available on ECSL's website. He cited that the issues raised by APC have been addressed, noting there is a total of 33% women's representation in political parties, which he affirms is within the requirement of the Public Elections Act that says there must be a female among every 3 candidates.
We are currently printing voter register at the warehouse, and the thanks to UNDP funding for providing the printers and the materials for us to do the in-house printing. As of yesterday, we have done up to 5 districts across the country, and we are hopeful we will complete this by this weekend. We will have the printed voter register safe and secure. Let me just show you, this is how the voter register is going to look like. We have awarded contract for the printing of ballot papers, green form. This is the same company that printed 2012, this is in South Africa, 2012 and 2018. The printing have started, and we are very much hopeful that the ballot papers will be here way ahead of the election date.
Representatives of diplomatic missions prioritize the need for equity in order to experience free, fair, and credible elections.
We've got a few weeks left, and I think transparency and clarity on issues where there is still confusion becomes even more critical, and it's not too late to bring extra clarity and transparency. As the UK is engaged across the country on our voter education and our peace promotion, we've done that both in SLPP strongholds and APC strongholds. There are still some themes that we're picking up that suggest to us there's room for more public engagement, more engagement with civil society on top of the efforts that I know already going on. So 3 areas just to perhaps put on your radar. You mentioned, Chair, the calls for public release of the electoral roll. This is a live debate in the UK, so I recognise the sensitivities. However, there was a decision to release some data. So at the very least, I think I would urge releasing, obviously, the register to political parties. If that can't be addresses, at least faces and names.
In response to the concern raised by Lisa Chesney on the release of some data in the register to political parties, this is what the ECSL chairman had to say.
Even though after the release, we saw in some social media, comments or commentary stating that that's not what they wanted. They wanted the detailed register of the voters, which is practically impossible for us to provide.
The U.S. ambassador to Sierra Leone, David Reimer, also had a request for local elections observers.
One issue that I wanted to raise that affects the U.S. Embassy, and I think it affects the other missions here as well, and that is of election observers. We intend to be observing all over the country. Probably about a third of our observers are going to be U.S. diplomats, and 2/3 of the observers are probably going to be Sierra Leoneans who work for the embassy in one form or another. We understand that in the past there was some provision made for people who would be outside of their voting district on election day. And that would be the case of our workers, either that they could vote in advance, like police or the Hajj pilgrims, or voted at a different location. I don't know if the ECSL has made a decision on that, but I would encourage you to make some sort of provision for these observers who are really doing a service to their country, to promote democracy in their country.
However, Chief Minister Jacob Jusuf Safa said government is committed to ensuring that all political parties get the same opportunities to ensure equality.
The commitment is shown or manifested in the form of our readiness to support elections, support the electoral management bodies and other institutions like National Peace Commission, civic education, judiciary, We are fully committed to it. We believe in democratic values. We believe that one way to demonstrate our commitment to democracy is to make sure we have a free, fair, inclusive election. Above 90% of the election is funded by the state. This is a very responsible government. We are capable of funding our elections. The partners will appreciate the effort, but I mean, we've been warned from last year. They had to come in last year because there was no willingness on the past government to support the election process. That's why they came in fairly heavily. But we take and say very important, and I want to appreciate the effort of the Ministry of Finance by creating special funds, special mechanism for finance elections. What they did on a weekly basis, they put in something like 20 billion aside, purposely for elections itself.
Salifu Cherna Kamar, AYV News.